Hello students, I am Nagendra, social science teacher. Today we are discussing in social science whole history part for the benefit of forthcoming examination. As you all know that annual examination for 10th standard is around the corner. So you should know the important questions from each chapters. That's why we have selected in this session only covering history part. As you all know that the pattern of question paper, it is of 80 marks, and 80 mark question paper will be facing these many segments: MCQ 8 questions, 1 mark 8 questions, 2 mark 8 questions, 3 mark 9 questions, and 4 mark 4 questions, and 1 map question. And this year we can't say 4 mark question will come from this particular chapter or this particular segment. No, because we can expect any marks question, any number of questions, weightage question from any chapter. So we have to concentrate each chapters in depth. So let us see from the chapter wise history. We have 10 chapters. The first chapter is Advent of Europeans to India. In Advent of Europeans to India, many questions can be asked, multiple choice question. You know, here the 3 important things: 1, Plassey War, Buxar War, and dual government. These 3 are very important questions for 3 and 2 mark question. But multiple choice questions, many are there. Let us have some important multiple choice question. The first one goes like this. See here, which city is considered as gate of European trade? It also can be asked, which is the capital city of European Roman Empire, which is the link city between European and Asian trade. So it is gate of European trade. Which city is called as gate of European trade? The answer is Constantinople, because it's a place where the things used to be brought to Constantinople from Asia, and European people used to come, traders used to come and get the things from there. So it's a meeting place of Asian and European people. That's why it was called as gate of European trade. So it's a very important question. Second one is, which country gained monopoly over European trade? In Europe, which country had established monopoly? That is Italy. And who were the first European trade to arrive in India and last European to leave India? So it's a very important question, and many students, they think that English, they select the English the option because they think British were the first to come and last to go. We got independence in 1947, so many students think that the English were the last to go, but it is wrong. If you select the English, it is Portuguese, because Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama, who discovered New Sea route to India, and Portuguese were the last to leave India because Goa was liberated in 1961. British had left India in 1947. So it is Portuguese who left India later. So next one, the question can be asked like this: who invented New Sea route to India? Who invented New Sea route to India? It is Vasco da Gama. And who introduced dual government in Bengal? It is Robert Clive. So these are all many multiple choice and 1 mark questions. And let us concentrate on 2 mark questions and 3 mark questions. See, in 2 mark question, most important question in this chapter is discuss the reason that resulted in discovery of New Sea route to India. Why New Sea route to India was discovered? See, I have written here the point wise. You have to write in the same way. Don't write the answer in paragraph wise, because evaluators, they want answer to be written in points, not in paragraph. So please cultivate the habit of writing answer in points. So you'll be having satisfaction in writing answer, and at the same time, evaluator will be very happy while they are correcting the question answer sheets, and you will be getting more marks. So you had to write in points. Why New Sea route to India was discovered? What was the reason? First one is fall of Constantinople. Second one is invention of compass, astrolabe and gunpowder. And third one, spices, Indian spices had more demand in European market. These three are the main reasons for discovering New Sea. See, Plassey is the other one important question. State the reason for Plassey War. So Plassey has three reasons. One, misuse of Dastaktas. Second one is mending of fort without permission. And next one is Black Room tragedy. These 3 points to be written for 2 marks. So this much is enough for 2 marks. State the reason for Plassey War. Next one is state the results of Plassey War. So what happened in Plassey War? The first one is Siraj-ud-Dowla was killed. Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. The company gained exclusive rights to do business in Bengal, and Mir Jafar had to pay a lot of amount to British as war indemnity. So these points to be written. So this much answer only to be written, not more than this. So while you are going to write the answer, please follow these instructions, how I have written there, the same points to be written in the examination, so that you will be getting more mark. And another important question in this chapter is, what were the results of Battle of Buxar? You know, Buxar was fought in the year 1764. Mir Kazim and British. So the war result here, Shah Alam II supported Mir Qasim. Shuja-ud-Dowla also supported him. Mir Qasim defeated by British. So Diwani rights given to British. Mir Jafar and company took over the entire administration of Bengal. Dual government was introduced by Robert Clive in Bengal. This is most important. Dual government was introduced after Buxar War. Buxar War was fought in 1764. The next year, 1765, dual government was introduced. So this much is the Buxar War result. Let us see then what is dual government. It is most important, frequently asking question in examination, that is dual government. What is dual government? So let us see what is dual government. See, dual government means it was introduced by Robert Clive. Dual means two government. One is administration and second one is Diwani right. Diwani means collection of revenue. Collection of revenue. See, according to the system, British had Diwani rights. British started collecting land revenue, and Nawab had Nizami right. Nizami right means administration. So Nizam had administration responsibilities, and British had Diwani right, means collection of revenue. Without any responsibility, they started enjoying revenue, and Nawab had the responsibility of administration and judiciary system in Bengal. So this is what the important things in first chapter. Let us go to second chapter, which are the important things. Second chapter is like this: the expansion of British rule. Expansion of British rule. In this chapter, we see two major wars. One is Anglo-Maratha War and Anglo-Sikh War. So let us see what may be the multiple choice of 1 mark question can be asked here. The 1 mark question like this: who introduced doctrine of lapse? This is the most important question. Doctrine of lapse was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. Next question: who introduced the subsidiary alliance? Subsidiary alliance was introduced by Lord Wellesley. Then Lion of Punjab, who was called as Lion of Punjab, King Ranjit Singh, which should be called as Lion of Punjab. These two can be asked for 1 mark as well as 3 mark questions. If it is asked for 3 mark, like doctrine of lapse and subsidiary alliance, what points to be written? Let us see now. See, what are the conditions under subsidiary alliance? Explain. The question will be asked like this. It is for 2 mark question. You have to write 4 points. 1. Indian king had to keep British army in his kingdom. So, a contingent of army used to be kept in the native ruler's territory if the native ruler signs subsidiary alliance. Next one, bear the expenses of the army. The local ruler had to bear the expense of army. Then king has to accept British resident also. He has to allow British resident to be in his court. He will be looking after administration, internal and external administration. And king could not appoint any other European without the permission of British. So the king who signs subsidiary alliance will not be having any rights to have any pact or relationships with any other neighborhoods. So this is what the subsidiary alliance. So this is about 2nd chapter. Let us see 3rd chapter. The 3rd chapter is impact of British rule in India. In this chapter, we see many multiple choice questions and 1 mark questions, but only 2 questions can be asked for 3 mark question. 1, the impact of land revenue system, and second one is impact of English education in India. And another one important question is land revenue systems individually. It means permanent zamindari system, raitwari system and mahalwari system. So these are all questions can be asked in the examination for 3 marks. Let us see what are the 1 mark questions in this chapter. See, first chapter is in this chapter. First question is, who is the first British Governor General in India? British Governor General. It is Warren Hastings is the first Governor General in India. Who introduced the first police system in India? Police system was introduced by Cornwallis. Then, who implemented Mahalwari system? This is most important. This question will be asked frequently. That is R.M. Bird and James Thomson. Who introduced Raitwari system? Raitwari system was introduced by Alexander Reed. And next question is, which act recommends the establishment of Reserve Bank of India? Reserve Bank of India was introduced according to Government Act of 1935. So RBI in India was introduced in the year 1935. These are all the questions asked. And even Supreme Court in India was established according to which act? It is Regulating Act. Regulating Act introduced Supreme Court in India. So in the same way, 2 mark questions can also be asked. It is illustrate the judicial system formulated through East India Company. So East India Company judicial system was reformed. Earlier, king used to decide all the controversies in the country. Now, the judicial system was introduced. In judicial system, they divided court into 2 parts. One, Diwani Adalat, and next one is Fauzdari Adalat. What is Diwani? Diwani means it is civil court. Diwani means civil court. Fauzdari means criminal court. Fauzdari means criminal court. So the 2 types of courts have been established in the time of British. One is civil court and criminal court. And those are called Diwani Adalat and Fauzdari Adalat respectively. So these 2 to be written. What is Diwani Adalat and Fauzdari Adalat? These are the 2 things that is introduced by English. Next question, Zamindari system. What is permanent Zamindari system? What were the features of Zamindari system, permanent Zamindari system? In this system, farmers lost their ownership of land. Farmers were not the owners of the land. Second one, Zamindar used to collect excess taxes from the farms. So Zamindar used to collect more taxes than fixed by the government. And the excess amount would be enjoyed by him. Then farmers have to work under Zamindars. Farmers are expected to live a life of insecurity. The farmers become poor. The farmers borrow loans from moneylenders to pay heavy tax. Because we say Because of that, we say Indian farmers who born in debt, lived in debt, and died in debt. So because of this permanent zamindari system, farmers used to live in debt, born in debt, and died in debt. So these are the impact as well as features of permanent zamindari system. So this is most important question. Next important is Raitwari system. Sometimes they may ask to differentiate between Raitwari system and zamindari system. So what is Raitwari system? Let us see. Raitwari system, tiller it should be. It has been become trailer here. It is the tiller. Tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. Tiller means farmer. The farmer was recognized as the owner of the land. Farmers and company were directly linked. So there was no middleman here. Owner had to pay 50% of produce as tax. So land tax was very high, 50%. Then land tax at 30 years tenure. The British officials took punitive actions to collect land taxes. Those who were not paying taxes correctly, they used to be punished, or they used to be pay fine. Next one, farmers borrow loans from money lenders whenever crops fail. So this also zamindari system and Raitwari system led to the farmers to be in debt because the tax was more, land revenue was more. That's why in both the system, Raitwari system and Maharwari or zamindari system, farmers used to take loan. That's why we used to call a farmer born in debt, live in debt, and die in debt. Next 3 mark question in this chapter. What were the effects of British land taxes? Effects of British land taxes on effect of land revenue system. It's the first one. The system bring regular income to company. Company used to enjoy because they were getting regular income. Company exploited Indian farmers. Indian farmers used to be exploited by this system. Farmers lost ownership of land. Farmers were not the owners of land. British officials collect taxes, excess taxes from farmers. Farmers used to pay more taxes and they had to take loans. Money lenders become strong because to pay excess taxes, farmers used to get the loan. So money lenders became very strong in this time. And new class called zamindars were created. Earlier zamindars were not there in our country. Now the new class zamindars came to be existed. So this is one question. Next one, make list of effect of British education. This is most important. Some changes were brought. Earlier we had a different education system, that is Gurukula system in our country. Now when British came here, they started introducing English education. Because of English education, we had so many impact. One is English education was introduced, so people started learning English, and Indians developed democracy, rationality and nationality. Now local literature and languages, they grown. The Indian freedom struggle was influenced by English education. Universities were established in Bombay, Madras and Calcutta. New social class called educated middle class emerged. So these are all the impact of British education. So because of British education, English was learned by Indians. Then education led to freedom struggle. One new class, educated middle class, emerged in the society, and universities were established, and local languages flourished. So this is what, in short, we can say the impact of English education. Next one, how does the Indian Government Act of 1935 become the base of Indian Constitution? This is most important one. How it has become the base for Indian Constitution? Here, two types of question can be asked. One is 1 mark question. Which act base for our Indian Constitution? Then you have to write 1935 Act is a base of Indian Constitution. If it is asked for 3 marks, how it is based for Indian Constitution, you have to write these points. These points to be written. Most of provisions in the Indian Constitution are based on this act. Fully responsible government to Indians, federal system of principalities. Federal system means 2 government system, local government and central government. Dominion states were formed, federal court was established. Federal court means different levels of courts were established. RBI, Reserve Bank of India, was established. Diarchy was established at the center. Diarchy was established at the center. Diarchy means the division of subjects like central list, state list and concurrent list. Next question, important is 1990, the impact, important features of 1919 Act. 1919 Act, we have so many features in this act. One is upper house formed, diarchy was allowed in regional governments, High Commissioner was appointed for India, separate electoral colleges were introduced for Muslim, Sikh and Anglo-Indian. It promised to improve local self-government and provincial budget was separated from central budget. So these are all the points to be written. You have to carefully listen, you have to carefully note down these points and same points to be written, not more than this. Please. Next one. The difference between Zamindari and Raithwari system. Already we have seen this individually. Both should be written by making 2 columns. You can write that is opposition to British rule in Karnataka. So how opposition started against British rule? In this chapter, very important questions are Anglo-Mysore Wars. That is fought between British, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. So the important thing here, Anglo-Mysore Wars, very important. So let us see. The question can be asked in the examination. What were the conditions of Srirangapatna Treaty? This is most important question in this chapter. Srirangapatna Treaty has many things. Because of Srirangapatna Treaty in 1792, this Srirangapatna Treaty was signed. So according to this, the power of Tipu Sultan has come down. The first one, Tipu lose half of his kingdom. Tipu has to surrender half of his kingdom. Tipu is responsible for the war. He was made responsible for the war. He was forced to pay 3 crore rupees as a war expenditure. Then, as he had no money with him, this much of money, he had to surrender 2 of his sons as the hostages. Then, he was also forced to release the prisoners of war. War prisoners has to be released, and British withdrew the combined force from Srirangapatnam. So these are all various things to be written. The important things, he has to lose half of the territory, they are responsible for the war, and 3 crore, as he had no money, 2 of his children had to be pledged to British. These are all the impact you had to write. Points to be written. The point should be very small like this, and it will be very easy for you to write in the examination, and it is very easy to keep in mind also. Then explain the method of resisting British power by Dondiya Wagh. This is another one important, Dondiya Wagh. What is his effort in fighting against British? Dondiya Wagh. See, Dondiya Wagh built private army. He was a common soldier in the time of Hyder Ali. But he was prisoned by Tipu Sultan and he was released by British. After Tipu Sultan was killed, Dondiya Wagh was released. Dondiya Wagh of his Maratha origin, and Wagha means tiger in Marathi language. So Dondiya Wagh built private army. Then he made an attack in the fort of Kudalur. Then Shivamogga and Chitradurga fort he attacked, and he also encouraged his army people to fight against British, and French extended their support to Dondiya Wagh. And he was captured and killed by British finally. So this is what has to be written. 5 points. Please carefully note this one. Then explain the method of adoption, methods adopted by Rayanna to fight British. Sangoli Rayanna, he was an assistant of Sangoli Rayanna. He fight against British. Kitturani Channamma, after she was captured, he started fighting against British. Sangoli Rayanna organized an army, then organized secret meetings, then developed a sense of nationalism in the army, and looted treasury and taluk offices of British, and he made an attack on treasuries of British. Hence he was captured and hanged by British. So these many points to be written. These are the many important questions in chapter number 4. Let us move to chapter number 5, that is Social Religious Reformation Movement. Social Religious Reformation Movement. Here, one more question can be asked. One more question. 19th century considered as Indian history as a Reformation. Journal Samvad Kaumudi was published by Rajaram Mohan Roy. And why did Dayanand Saraswati open head office Arya Samaj? Where did he? In Lahore he started. Who wrote the book Satyartha Prakash? It is Swami Dayanand Saraswati. And Gulam Giri, the book was written by Jyotiba Phule. So these are many one more question can be asked. Samajas are concerned, various samajas established by various reformers. Let us see the two more questions. What were the preachings of Brahma Samaj? Brahma Samaj advocating monotheism. Monotheism means worshipping of one God. Opposed the meaningless rituals. Then condemned child marriage. Encouraged women education. So most of all samajas did the same. But Brahma Samaj, Rajaram Mohan Roy, got Sati abolished. That has to be added here. You can add another one point. Sati was banned by Rajaram Mohan Roy, Brahma Samaj, with the help of British. Then discuss the aims of Aligarh movement. Aligarh movement is a different one because Aligarh movement taken place in Muslim society. Propagating women's educations. Muslim encouraged women education. Aligarh movement was started by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He was in favor of women education. Then opposing polygamy. Then encouraging English education among Muslim society. Spreading Western scientific culture ideas. So these are all Aligarh movement ideas. One is women education was given importance. Then opposing polygamy. Polygamy means marrying more women. Then encouraging English education. Then spreading Western scientific and cultural ideas. These are all Aligarh movement. Next one is the next important question. Swami Vivekananda is a source of inspiration to the youths, youngsters. This is the most important question in this chapter. Please note it down. He gave a call, youth, awake, arise, stop until the goal is reached. He stressed the significance of individual, his presence and ability. Importance of loving life. Then importance of social service. These are all very important things it has to be written for Swami Vivekananda is concerned. Next one, what were the Reformation activities of Annie Besant? Annie Besant played an important role in Home Rule League, and Annie Besant, she providing education to all. She started one Hindu college in Banaras Hindu College. Now it has become Sanskrit University. And she started periodicals, New India, Commonwealth, and Home Rule League. She also took part in freedom struggle, that is called Home Rule League. So these are all the information to be written. And another two important things here are Narayan Dharma Paripalana Yogam and Periyar movement. These two are very important. We have to concentrate on these two also for the sake of examination. One is Narayan Dharma Paripalana Yogam. It was See here, strengthening backward and exploited communities. One God, one caste, one religion for human beings, propagating education. Then they built temples for backward communities. They started Vayakam. Vayakam means self-respect movement. Narayan explained the contributions of Sri Narayan Dharma Paripalan Yogam. So you have to write these points if the question is asked. It's very important, please note. Make list of main aspects of Periyar movement. Periyar movement started in Tamil Nadu. Narayan Dharma Paripalan Yogam in Kerala. So in Periyar movement, the movement rejected the racial supremacy in the name of Arya and Brahmin. Arya, Dravida and Aryans. Opposed Sanskrit language and literature. They opposed Sanskrit language. The movement championed equality, criticized caste and gender discrimination. They condemned caste, religion, gender discrimination. So it is mainly about against the upper caste and as well as casteism, Periyar movement. So these are all various things to be asked in the examination. And one more question is concerned, you have to concentrate on this. Rajaram Mohan Roy, Brahma Samaj and Atmiya Sabha. Dayananda Saraswati established Arya Samaj. Dr. Atmaram Panduranga, Prarthana Samaj. Jyotiba Phule, Satyashodhak Samaj. Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Mission. Narayana Guru, Narayan Dharma Paripalan Yogam. Then Periyar. Periyar is also called as E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. Ramaswamy Naikar is called as Periyar. Self-respect movement, Vayakam movement started by and supported by them. Annie Besant, Theosophical Society. Annie Besant associated with Theosophical Society and she also started Home Rule League. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan started Aligarh movement in Muslim society. Muhammad Anglo-Oriental College he started. Henry Louis Vivian Derozio. It is most important, it can be asked for Young Bengal movement which was started by one Anglo-Indian, Henry Louis Vivian Derozio, should not forget. Then M.G. Ranade, member of Prarthana Samaj. So these are all the important things to be kept in mind while you are revising this chapter. Now let us go to unit number 6, First War of Indian Independence. First War of Indian Independence taken place in 1857. Here, 3 questions are most important. One, the causes for 1857. Second one, cause for failure. And third one, result of 1857. If you concentrate on these 3, it's enough. Let us see the causes. Causes for 1857, if it is asked in the examination, you have to write these 4 or 5 points. 1, political causes, economic causes, administrative causes, military and immediate cause. So these 5 causes to be written. No need to explain because it is asked for 2 marks. If the question is asked for 2 marks, then you need to write only causes, not explaining these each one. If it is asked for 3 marks, they also join, they extend the question like telling that explain any one, then you have to explain any one of these. So you write the causes first, then you explain any one of these reasons, causes. Next, what were the results of doctrine of lapse? You know the doctrine of lapse was introduced by Dalhousie. Those native rulers don't have any natural heir, then rejected of adopting a child. If adopted child, if they adopt the child, it would not be having any rights over the throne. In this situation, native region will lapse to British. That is what I call doctrine of lapse. Next one, important question is, what were the immediate cause for First War of Indian Independence? This is an important question. Immediate cause because here Royal Enfield, one new rifle was introduced. This new rifle, the explosives were smeared with the fat of cow and pig. That's why Muslim and Hindu soldiers rejected to use Royal Enfield. That's the immediate cause for First World War. First First War of Indian Independence. Next one, list of the reasons led to the failure of mutiny. This is most important. Why First War of Indian Independence failed? Many reasons are there. The first reason is that it did not spread to whole country. It limited to some places only. Then lack of strategy. There was no plan. Expertise among soldiers. Lack of discipline in our soldiers. Unity among British forces. British were united, but Indians were not united. Many Indian kings extended their loyalty to British, unfortunately, and lack of leadership. There were no leaders in our army in First War of Indian Independence. Next, explain the Queen's Declaration 1858. So very next year, Queen Declaration were made. So according to that, 1858 Act is called as Magna Carta of India because rights were given to Indians and British assured to provide stable government in India, and they also assured not to interfere in religious matters. So regional expansion will be ended. Religious matters they assured to not to interfere in that, and providing stable government and providing rights to the people of India. Because of all these assurance, 1858 Act is called as Magna Carta of India. So this is about the sixth lesson. So let us move to unit number 7, that is freedom movement. Freedom movement, in this lesson we discuss about the freedom movement in India before advent of Gandhiji. Gandhiji was still in Africa, South Africa, and what was the condition of India in the time of pre-Gandhian era? That means before Gandhiji came to India. So let us see the freedom movement. Here some questions can be asked. That is, most important is National Congress. Indian National Congress was established in 1885. Who founded Indian National Congress? A.O. Hume founded. Who is the first president of Indian National Congress? W.C. Banerjee. When was Muslim League formed? In 1906. Who introduced Vernacular Press Act? Lord Lytton. Lord Lytton introduced Vernacular Press Act. Who are known as political beggars by radicals? Political beggars and they are the moderates. Moderates used to be called as political beggars by radicals. What do you mean by radicals? Radicals means those who criticize the soft stance of moderates are called radicals. Who implement the Bengal division? Lord Curzon was responsible for the division of Bengal in 1905. So these are all the important things to be kept in mind. So let us see the major questions can be asked in this chapter. Role of Tilak, Bala Tilak in freedom struggle. Tilak is a famous radical, and he declared, Swaraj is my birthright, I shall get it at any cost. He started preparing common people for freedom struggle. He started Ganesh Chaturthi, Ganesha festival, and Shivaji Jayanti, Shivaji festival. And he started 2 newspapers, Kesari and Maratha, to organize the people, to create awareness among the people. He started Home Rule movement, that is already we have seen Annie Besant started this, he joined the movement. Swadeshi movement started. Then Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal, he joined hands with those people and sacrificed his life for Indian freedom. So this is what Bala Gangadhar Tilak is concerned. You had read these points. Next, let us discuss about the 8th chapter, the era of Gandhiji. When Gandhiji came back to India, what he started, what he made. The first question, what were the initial internal tools of Gandhiji's struggles? Gandhiji had some values in his struggle. One is Satyagraha, Urge for Truth, Ahimsa, non-violence, unity of Hindu-Muslim, then truth and fasting. So these are all the internal tools of Gandhiji's struggle. Describe the role of Gandhiji in Indian freedom struggle. Gandhiji role means, he started non-cooperation movement, Champaran movement, Kheda movement, Ahmedabad movement, Khilafat, Jallianwala Bagh, Quit India movement, Civil Disobedience movement, Non-Cooperation movement. These are all the movements he organized. So he had to write all these movements. Next one. List out the programs of non-cooperation movement. This is very simple one. Students did not go to schools and colleges, and the elders did not attend courts and their offices. Then they returned all their honors. Then nominated members resigned, boycotting foreign goods, and they started using Swadeshi goods. These are all the programs of non-cooperation movement. Then Quit India movement. This is most important. Gandhiji started Quit India movement in 1942, and he gave a call, do or die. And Gandhiji, Nehru, all leaders were imprisoned, arrested. And this lack of leadership, this led to lack of leadership. Then utilizing the transport and telecommunication, British suppressed the movement. Muslim League did not participate in this struggle. This is a setback. It's a lack of proper direction to the movement. As a lack of leaders, because as they were imprisoned, Muslim League did not participate, and proper directions were not for the movement, and it's because of that this was a failure. Quit India movement. Quit India movement had a setback of all these things. Main leaders were arrested. These are the points to be written when Quit India movement is asked. Then explain the achievement of Subhash Chandra Bose in independence struggle. Subhash Chandra Bose, what was the role of him? Let us see. These are the points to be written. He was popularly called Netaji. He is endearingly called as Netaji. He participated in non-cooperation movement. Then he became the president at Haripur session, Indian National Congress. Netaji left Congress because of the controversy between the moderates, and he is an extremist. Then he got the support of dictator of Germany. He is Hitler, and he recruited one army, Indian National Army, INA. Subhash Chandra Bose called Delhi Chalo. Then he urged Indians, give me blood, I will give you freedom. So he opted iron blood policy, that means fighting against British, and unfortunately he died in plane accident. So these are all the things to be written. Subhash Chandra Bose is concerned. Then tribal revolt. Tribal revolt is also one of the major things. You should not forget the names of Shantalas and Munda and Hadagadi Bedas. Then major achievements of Nehru as a Prime Minister of India. The first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, what he had done. So he is the first Prime Minister of independent India. Industrialization was achieved by him, and of Indian democracy, mixed economy he introduced, 5-year plans he introduced, and foreign policy was formulated by him, and non-alignment movement, this is most important, NAM, non-alignment policy. That means not to join any power blocks. After Second World War II, power blocks were there, led by USA and USSR, and Nehru did not join any power group. That is what we call non-alignment movement. And Panchashila principles, that means it's the base for Indian foreign policy. So that was formulated by Nehru. These are the points to be written. Next one, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The role of B.R. Ambedkar in freedom struggle. Ambedkar strongly believed in political independence. He is meaningless without social independence. So he urged for social equality. That's why he started two movements, Kalaram and Mahat movement. And Ambedkar was a Diwan in the court of Maharaja of Baroda, and he formed parties like Swatantra Karmika Party and Republican Party of India. He published newspapers like Prabuddha Bharata, Janata, Mooka Nayaka, and Bahishkrita Bharata. Then he worked towards the progress of agricultural laborers. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was unanimously chosen as the chairman of the drafting committee of Indian Constitution. So these are all the points to be written. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is concerned. Next one, chapter number 9, India after independence. After we got independence, what are the challenges had to be faced by India? Mainly, we had to concentrate on these problems. One is problems faced, refugee problem, communal violence, formation of government, integration of princely states. These are the major problems you have to write. Then let us see the process of linguistic organization of state. After we got independence, all princely states were merged. Now the challenge before the Indian government is to divide the country on the basis of linguistic base. So making of states. That's why Fazal Ali Commission was formed in 1953. Committee recommended creation of Andhra Pradesh, the first state created in India. Then the report was given in 1956. Initially, there were 14 states and 6 union territories were made according to Fazal Ali Commission. So this is the creation of state. Next one, unit number 10, that is political dimension of 20th century. So here, the important thing is First World War, then Russian Revolution, Second World War, Chinese Revolution, Cold War, and emergence of America. These are the major things we need to concentrate. Let us see the major things first. What were the reforms adopted by Stalin in Russia? Stalin, achievement of Stalin. He introduced 5-year plans. Russia sent manned satellite to space, established industries, and developed Russian agriculture. These are all the achievements made by Stalin in Russia. Russian Revolution taken place in the year 1917. What were the features of fascism? Fascism was in Italy. So ultra-nationalism, patronizing violence, racial superiority, then destroying other national forces. So in Germany, Italy, two dictators emerged. In Germany, Hitler. In Italy, fascism was there. So these are all the various features of fascism. Benito Mussolini was there. In Germany, Hitler was there. How did Nazism destroy Germany? Explain. Or here, how dictator Hitler emerged. The question can also be asked like that. The Nazi ideology seized the power in Germany and caused for many activities. They are appointment of Goebbels. Goebbels are the officers to spread Nazism in Germany. Then Holocaust. Holocaust means massacre of people. People were killed. Then Nuremberg law. Hitler, he introduced his own law called Nuremberg law and became main cause for victim of Second World War. So he had become the major reason for Second World War. Through these activities, Germany became destroyed. Because of that, Germany was destroyed because of Hitler, because of his policy, because of his Nazism. So these are the points to be written. What were the reasons for First World War? See, First World War, the reasons ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ development of extreme nationalism, raise of arms, assassination of Austrian prince, then formation of alliance in Europe. So these are all the points to be written. Explain the Treaty of Versailles after First World War. Versailles Treaty was introduced. Then Second World War taken place. Second World War duration was from 1939 to 1945. So reason were extreme nationalism once again, rise of dictators in Germany and Italy, then raise of armaments in Europe. Germany's attacked Poland in 1939. So this is the immediate cause. And what are the result of Second World War? The major result of Second World War. Number of lakhs of people were killed. UNO was established. The colonies of Asia and Africa got independence. Cold War has been started. Cold War was the result of Second World War. Then UNO was established. Colonies of Asia and Africa got independence. Explain Cold War. This is most important. What is Cold War? Cold War means suspicion between hatred, suspicion, competition between USA and USSR. So that's what you call Cold War. Cold War means war was not fought in a war field, just it was a suspicion. means hatred or competition between two power blocks. This is an undeclared war between USA and Russia. NATO, SEATO, CENTO and Warsaw organizations came into existence because of Cold War. Korean War, Vietnam War has been started because of Cold War. Rise of armaments started between America and Russia. Rise of armaments means these two countries started production of arms and ammunition. That is what you call rise of armaments between America and Russia. And what were the effects of Chinese Revolution? In China, revolution started, and because of Chinese Revolution, the effects were leap forward policy. Because of leap forward policy, China's economy improved. Then community farming, mass farming was introduced, adopted by China. Then importance was given to science and technology, and China became a communist nation. So these are all Chinese Revolution impact. So this is about the history. We have discussed here 10 chapters, and main and important questions can be expected in history chapter. Thank you.